Cynthia, what's up everybody? Alright, I had a super jam-packed schedule today. I was not able to get out and film. I had meetings, I had a lot of other stuff to do, gym. I will be DJing New Year's Eve at a special place. Details will come soon. So if you're going to be in Saigon for New Year's Eve, plan the night. It's going to be at a pretty big club. I will be the headline DJ. So I will release more information as we get closer to that. So again, if you are going to be in Saigon, I will be DJing techno and trance, headlining on New Year's Eve. So yeah, if you're here, I will announce the details and all that stuff in further videos. On this video today, we're going to talk about how do expats fit in with Vietnamese people in Vietnam and in Saigon in particular, and how do expats sit with other expats as you get here. So how hard is it when you get here? What do the Vietnamese think of expats? And what do expats think of expats? So we're going to get into it. Of course, if you do like the video, smash the like button and leave a comment if you would like. So yeah, first things first, me personally, I've had zero issues here. I've gotten along with pretty much everybody. The only altercation I've ever been on has been on film on a live stream in Fatty's Sports Bar. I think the way that they handled it was completely childish. I have nothing good to say about Fatty's really anymore. If you look at their replies to people that left fake reviews on their thing, it's whoever is running their stuff for the Google reviews. It's very, very childish. So anyways, that's the only person I've ever been in an altercation with here in my entire time here of living here for 3.5 years almost now. So as far as getting along with other expats, I get along with them fine. Two of my good friends are expats here. One's a Viet Q guy from Canada. Another guy's not a Viet Q, a guy from Canada. One of my best friends before he moved out of here was a German guy. So I get along pretty well with a lot of the expats. They're super friendly, super nice. Like I said, I've really never run into too many bad people here. The only distasteful expats I probably run into is a couple of teachers one night on Bui Vien. That was really it. And that's not a blanket statement saying all teachers are bad. There's quite a few guys in the Discord that are teachers that are pretty cool. We also will be opening the Discord again. It's coming up at the end of the year. So if you've been wondering where the Discord's at and all that, it is coming back. It'll be fully open. I'll post the link in every video, so you'll be welcome to join. You will have to go through a verification process when you do join the Discord. If you don't go through that verification process, you won't be allowed to be a part of the Discord. So it's a multiple step verification process. You have to verify your phone number, you have to verify your email address, and you have to verify your screen name to your YouTube name. So it's the only way we can keep out the troublemakers. So if you do want to join, that's how it's going to be done. Again, information on that will be posted in future videos. So yeah, as far as expat community goes, they're really nice here. I would advise that you stay off of the Facebook forums. I think they're terrible. All the Facebook stuff here for expat stuff is extremely toxic. I don't recommend it. I'm sure somebody else will chime in on the comment section on how shitty it is. There's a couple good things on Facebook, like the motorcycle places, groups and things like this. But as far as like the expat community on Facebook, it's a complete joke. I wouldn't recommend that you waste any time on that. Besides, Facebook is a dying platform, so there's really no need to invest too much time in Facebook anymore, unless you're really want to. I haven't used Facebook in over 6 years. It's a platform that I just think is garbage, so it's up to you if you want to use it. As far as Vietnamese people, they don't care. They're super friendly to anybody. You know, this is why I use Winway for a lot of my filming material. This is probably where we would have filmed this video. Is, you know, everybody's so friendly here. There's no repercussion of the war. Nobody knows, not even knows. Nobody cares about it. It's done. It was in the past. You know, it was almost 50 years ago now. I think longer than that, 55 years ago. So it was a long time ago. People aren't concerned about it in any way, even the older Vietnamese. Some people will say people in the north still care. I have not run into that. I've been in the north plenty. Everybody's been friendly there, old and young. I've had zero issues with any kind of Vietnamese anywhere. I get along pretty much with everybody. I'm a pretty nice guy. I'm pretty chill. I can usually even get out of a disagreement, as I'm not a guy that's gonna like escalate the violence or anything like that. I don't believe fighting is ever gonna solve a problem. I would never get into a street fight. I think it's stupid. You've seen me demonstrate this before where I've just avoided the situation. There is no need to put yourself in that kind of situation. Just walk away. You never know what's gonna happen in a street fight, by the way. I learned this lesson long ago when one of my buddies knocked a dude out and he hit his head, and then he died like 4 days later, and my buddy ended up going to jail. This is 20 years ago. So you learn these lessons early on, and it's just not something I would ever do unless I absolutely had to and someone was striking on me. Then I would defend myself. But other than that, you can just walk away from the situation. Everybody's a tough guy on the internet. Everybody's a keyboard warrior, and it's as simple as that. As far as meeting people and assimilating with people when you're new here, the easiest thing you can do is just go out. If you go to expat bars or any kind of things like this, you could go to Pasture Bar, you could go to Seven Bridges, and there's a ton of other expat bars. Those are just the two that I focus on and go to. I don't drink anymore, so I don't really go to bars. I haven't been to a bar in over a month. No plans to really go to a bar again anytime soon. But it's a very easy way to meet people, is to just go to a bar and chat it up with whoever's around you. And usually you'll find some people that are living in the city, and if you get along in conversation, then you get their Zalo information, and then you can hang out again. Also, I've met a lot of people in my buildings that I've lived at. We're about to leave Golden River. We're in our last few weeks here, but I've met, a guy that lives on my floor with his Vietnamese girlfriend. Tremendous guy. Shout out if you're watching the video. Super nice couple, super nice dude. Lots of other people in this building that I've met that have rented apartments either from watching my videos or things like this. Everybody's just super friendly, It's very rare that you run into kind of shitty people here, in my experience, I won't put myself in a situation to hang out with an expat that has a poor attitude. If they do have a poor attitude, like there was a guy that lived here, and he was a crybaby about everything here. He was trying to bring Western values here, and he wanted everything like this and like that. And if one little thing went wrong, he was crying for weeks. He ended up breaking his lease and moving over to District 2. Guy was a big crybaby. He had that same behavior when we went out like one or two times, and I knew right away, I'm like, I'm not hanging out with this guy again. So very rarely do I meet up with somebody like that I don't want to hang out with them again. Usually I'll vet people before I even hang out with them, because I've met them, talked to them. It's the same with like so many of the subscribers I met, like the one dude from Australia that was on the live stream. Super nice guy. I would hang out with him again. We got along really well. The guys I met on Buivine this past weekend, I'd also hang out with them again. I only think they're here for a few more days, and I've got a lot going on this week. You'll see we'll be in a different place soon. It's just a lot of moving parts this week in particular. So I think it's fairly super easy to meet people here. You just have to be a little bit outgoing, and you have to be willing to put yourself into a conversation, It's very easy to, like, say if you're sitting at a bar and you hear a guy talking, he's talking kind of loud, and he's talking about maybe a subject that you have, some information on, you can chime in and try to get into the conversation like that. That usually works pretty well. I've only had that fail a handful of times, and that's usually not somebody you want to be friends with. Somebody that takes to offense to when they're in a public bar and they're talking loudly, and then you try to, join the conversation. If they get offended by that, that's probably not the type of guys you want to hang out with anyway. So, like I said, I would steer clear of Facebook. There's absolutely nothing good on there. It is one of the most toxic areas I've ever seen, is the Vietnam expat Facebook groups. It is a bunch of dudes that are just yelling what they believe, and whatever they believe is what is right. It's just a lot of misinformation. That's where it's floating around that you can only renew your visa 3 times now. Like, all this misinformation is on there. So, I don't put out information videos unless I actually know for a fact that is the information. So I'm not an expert in really much, but I do vet the things very carefully. Like I said, I know a guy that's got 20 e-visas. I know a dude that stacked 6 visas in a row. I know other people that are on their 12th visa and 13th visa. So I actually know for a fact, like, people that I actually know in real life that have actually done this stuff, instead of what I've heard on the internet. So what you hear on the internet is often not true. It's very easy for people to make a narrative and create some kind of direction on somebody. and sing that as the narrative. And if you don't do any research or homework into it, then you don't really know, and you'll believe that. So sadly, a lot of people are gullible on the internet right now. That's why I'm not a particularly big fan of TikTok or YouTube Shorts. It's very, very easy to fake a lot of that shit. You know, there's so much stuff that I see. The only thing I watch is YouTube Shorts because I'm a YouTuber, and I occasionally peel through it and I'm like, oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. Like, so much of it you can tell is fake, like super, super fake. Like, I'll just give you an example. The apartment guy that walks up, can I go in and see your $3,500 apartment right now? Sure, dude. And it's like brand new, crisp and clean when they walk in. Bullshit. That is not actually what happened. That guy did not randomly meet somebody and go, can I go look at your apartment? First of all, 98% of people in New York are going to tell you to fuck off, and 98% of people in LA are certainly going to tell you to fuck off if you ask them that. They don't care if you're a YouTuber or not, or a TikToker or whatever bullshit it is. So I'm not into that format. If you are, I don't mind. You know, different folks, different strokes. I will never be on TikTok ever. There's a possibility where I'll do YouTube Shorts. Possibility, because YouTube is pushing it so incredibly hard right now. They're pretty much pushing it to where that's the only way you can grow your channel. Now, recently we had an exponential spike in YouTube subscribers, which, for the record, trolls, this has happened many times before. Well, not many times, but back in June of 2020, we had 2,510 new subscribers. So in June of 2020, we had 2,510. Right now, I think we've got about 2,000 new subscribers this month. And then back in November of 2020, we had 1,520 in about a 2-week period. So what happens with my channel, and I think other channels as well, is you get spikes. You sometimes, and what happens, the way you get spikes is that YouTube will show you on the main page more often. You've hit some kind of algorithm that they like, and then they're more inclined to put that content on the main page. And we have correlating videos with that. You know, the Do Not Get Lost in the Sauce has 8,000 views, I mean, in a matter of 2 days. The How to Date Gorgeous Women in Vietnam has nearly 9,000 views in 3 days. So we're making videos that are getting lots of views quickly, and then people are subscribing from these videos. Just from Do Not Get Lost in the Sauce, there was 550 subscribers. How to Date Gorgeous Women, there was 1,100 subscribers. So it's pretty cool to see, like, when a video really takes off and then people subscribe to it. So pretty amazing. I'm very happy with that. Like I said, acclimating in Vietnam is a very easy thing to do. You won't have a problem doing it. You don't even have to be outgoing, but try to put yourself in a position of being outgoing. Definitely go out and meet a woman as well. I've given you the tips. If you haven't seen the How to Date Gorgeous Women in Vietnam, it is pretty much a direct guide on how to date women in Asia. This doesn't just go for Vietnam, but this is a guide on pretty much how to date women without doing any nagging, any game bullshit, any of that. You don't need to do any of that. You just need to dress okay, smell good, be clean shaven, clean cut, and be polite, and a lot of things will fall your way. And it should almost be the same way if you want to hang out with dudes too. You want to present yourself in the best possible way, you know. And of course, don't get lost in the sauce. Like I said, in their first couple months, you probably will get a little bit lost in the sauce, but you're gonna have a really, really good time. You know, just don't spend a bunch of your money right away. Put yourself on a budget, like I said. I wish somebody had made videos like I did before I came here, because I definitely did watch YouTubers in Vietnam before I moved here, and there wasn't really shit for what I was trying to look up. So it would have been great if someone actually put out a couple videos like that. I think that's my 3rd or 4th one on not getting into the party scene too heavily and wasting all your money. If I would have seen maybe possibly one of those videos, and especially if somebody would have advised me to budget myself, I probably wouldn't have wasted so much money that I did in my first 3 to 4 months here. So luckily I did learn pretty quick. So yeah, as I said, super easy to acclimate here. It's actually easy to meet Vietnamese people too. I have quite a bit of Vietnamese friends that I've made from just being at different bars and stuff. I know a couple dudes that live in this building that I coincidentally met at bars in Japantown that are really cool people. One of my buddies, he owns like 10 or 15 super high-end motorcycles, and he has a couple really expensive cars too. So he's in the motorbike car trade business, and then he's got a couple clubs in District 1 as well. So I've met some cool Vietnamese too. And you know, I actually have a couple Vietnamese friends that speak just Vietnamese, very little English. And you can actually hang out with them too. You don't really have to have a mastery of the language. Now, as I would always say, I advise you do learn some Vietnamese before you come here, especially if you've got a year to go or 6 months to go before you get here. Start taking Vietnamese on some kind of app for an hour or two a day. I don't have the drive for it as much as I should, and it's very, very difficult for me to learn Vietnamese comparative to Japanese or Korean, which are way easier for me to pick up. So I get a bit discouraged in trying to learn because it's so difficult for me with the pronunciations. Hats off to people that do learn Vietnamese quickly and that do become fluent in it. Very good. My favorite guy for learning Vietnamese language on YouTube is Rusty Compass. I think he has a very good guide of learning basic Vietnamese. That's where I learned a lot of my basic Vietnamese, which is still arguably shit. But I do fine with it. It still works when I'm out in Vietnam. People will criticize me and say, you didn't say it right, you didn't say it right. But it works fine for me when I'm out in IRL and I'm using it. So I may not have it perfect, but it works good enough. So that's the video I wanted to cover today. This was a requested video from one of the subscribers, so we're putting it out there. Tomorrow's video, 12 hours after this, is going to be a market hunt video where we go through the wholesale market out in District 5. And then I will be shooting new videos tomorrow. Pretty soon we're going to be off into a new country, so I'm not going to tell you the exact date. You'll just see me there and you'll see a video pop up. You'll also see live streams. I have gotten the new phone, so the new phone will get dialed in. We will be going back through the server, so the live streams will be looking very good quality. I think when I'm in Taiwan I can get 5G. I'm not sure if it's there, so we might be able to do some 1080p streams there. So that is the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Stay frosty. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out.